A summertime tradition returns to the Rocky Mountains of Colorado as the fireworks and sparkler tournaments clash tonight on CBS Sports Network. Dewitt in the middle, Robles, Wester, Perez out in the outfield, and it's Edior behind the plate. And we're ready for the first pitch of our National Power Showdown. That pitch just misses, and in case you caught it, maybe you're already cued in. They're at home. You're going to hear a lot out of Michelle Floyd. She is a grunter, an effort pitcher in the circle. Just listen in as she delivers.
There she goes with the double grunt there. Sometimes, you know, you got to get a little extra on it. Michelle Floyd using all that she has out there.
So we'll, as we unfold the game today, we'll talk about your grunting preferences, both of you, as your pitching experience. Michelle Floyd is in the circle, and we're underway with the top of the first. Texas Impact Gold. Got a bouncer foul. Kyla Walker will play left field for the defense of the Impact Gold, but here she's leading off in the left side batter's box.
Well, Walker with a lot of speed. You can see the way that the Firecrackers respecting that with the infield well in. And the way that they're going to play this is making sure those middle infielders are in front of the line to respect that speed. So the middle infielders are going to be in, corners will be pulled up the line, and that's basically to take away that extra step that Walker has trying to get down the line in about 2.8 seconds to 3 seconds.
And again, Michelle Floyd working that outside corner. You can tell that she really wants that ball to go to her third baseman so that her third baseman can play off, you know, cut the ball off, and that's going to be her best defensive play right there to get her out at first.
Floyd gets that outside edge strike call for a full count. 3-2 to the leadoff batter, Kyla Walker. And the ring up, strike three. So working that edge like Monica mentioned, and to be honest, Kyla Walker looked surprised. I think a few pitches close and not called strikes earlier, and now this time got it.
Well, this is screwball on the outside corner, and you can see the way that Floyd is going to basically take that ball and turn it so it spins like a corkscrew, and that's going to give that screwball movement away from the zone. And with 2 strikes, you know, Monica, as a hitter, as a pitcher, anything close to the zone, you got to be aggressive and go get it.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think it was, you know, a close pitch to take for Walker there, but the umpire kind of off and on that outside corner. Great job from E. Dyer behind the plate, really framing that and getting that strike for Floyd.
So now we're into the second batter, and it's Madison Kettler. Madison with the bat. She's got a 1-1 count with 1 away. Kettler, another lefty. She'll play right field for her defense. They're hoping to put some runs on the board to get things going in the top of one. This ball ripped to the on-deck circle. Heads up over there for Tori Vidalis, who's on deck. Madison Kettler resides in West Texas, and probably get a chance a little later in this game to hear more from Amanda about the Kettlers and the town of West, who many of you became familiar with here in the last few months with the disaster that took place there around the same time the tornado activity was happening all over the Midwest. So Madison, her nickname Crash, and she is a fan of Kaylani Ricketts. Not a bad pick.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
This ball fouled off. It's a 2-2 count. And Michelle, I know you had a chance to look on as Ricketts and her cohorts worked their way through the bracket in Oklahoma City this year. An impressive squad, and no lack of Firecrackers in the mix from that either. Lauren Chamberlain among those.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a great program. Patty Gasso puts a lot of great athletes out on the field, and Kaylani Ricketts doing it in the circle, along with Michelle Gascoigne, who had an outstanding championship game, but the power hitter, speed, just a very well-rounded team. And I think an argument to be had maybe the best collegiate team ever.
Loaded. The batting order was just relentless. There's a ball bounced off the top of the dugout here in Westminster, so the count stays full to Madison Kettler, who has verbally committed to Baylor.
And on that Oklahoma team, one thing that I thought was really powerful was their #2 pitcher, Michelle Gascoigne. Like, you know, she came in there, had to sit back seat to Kalani Ricketts so long, but she came out, and she came out on a mission, and she did exactly what her team asked for her and exactly what Coach Gasso expected of her. And we really saw that in the championship game. And she's also now playing with the Chicago Bandits, so good to have her as a teammate.
Here's a look at that ball 4 pitch.
It's a screwball on the outside corner. You gotta love the way that Idura is trying to frame that ball.
She gets real low underneath that ball, trying to push it up a little bit. She knows it's down just a little bit low. Great work behind the plate. Love throwing to a catcher that works so hard for you.
Absolutely.
And the beauty of that for the Firecrackers and their head coach, Tony Rico, with Hillary Edior behind the plate. Edior, not aged. Let's just say that. I won't call her young. We'll just say not aged. She's a 2015 grad, so just going into her junior year of high school this coming fall. 16 years of age and already tremendous talent. There's a snap to first. Back in time is Kettler sliding back safely as Tori Vidalis has the bat. There's a look at Kettler on first, and for Vidalis, the number 3 batter, she'll play third base. She has she's a veteran of some TV games, as a lot of these players are from last year. Vidalis, a real presence in this batting order, big stick. His ball is shot through the left side, base hit. First hit of the game, 2 runners on for Impact Gold.
Well, Vidalis does a good job of getting it through the 5-6 hole because Russell, the shortstop, is pulled well up the middle. So Impact Gold taking advantage of the positioning of the Firecrackers defense.
And that's what speed does. When you have speed on first base, you know the shortstop has to cheat over a little bit, preparing for that steal. Vidalis does a good job taking that outside pitch and just kind of pulling it through the 5-6 hole. Not great contact, but enough to get the job done.
Now Mackenzie Kerpek, who is capable of hitting one to Vail, Colorado from here. She hit one out last year when these two teams met in the televised game on CBS Sports Network in the first inning. Here, though, she bounces it to third. 5-3 for the double play, and the Firecrackers are out of it.
Great job right there by the third baseman. Heads up play. Tag your base. Throw it to 1. It's easy as it's done.
It's Taylor Vanz with the pickup and the put out, throw across, and coming to bat, the Firecrackers with no score after 1/2 an inning.
For her to get a lot of ground ball outs and really spin the ball well.
So here goes Peyton Mcbride, pitch 1, and base hit number 1. Straight in and straight onto first base. Good solid contact for Nicole Dewitt with the single.
Nicole Dewitt's one of those kids that has a very high softball IQ. First pitch she sees, it's close to the zone. She's going to take it, drive it right into left field. That's exactly what you want your leadoff hitter to do.
Last year in this matchup on CBS Sports Network, these same two teams met here at the Sparkler and Fireworks. Here's a ball slapped to the left side, and the hustle pays off. Taylor Vanz, who played third base and turned that double play to end the top of the first, she now legs it out. Infield single.
Again, that's what speed does to you. Makes it challenging.
And she slides after the bag instead of in front of the bag, but
whatever it takes.
Yeah, working hard right there.
Hey, I want to mention with Nicole Dewitt out at second base last year in this matchup game, Firecrackers exploded. The score was 4-3 after 3 innings. This ball gets loose and the runners move up, so the force play is now off with nobody out. And the bat of Chelsea Gonzalez in the box for the Firecrackers. Just finished that thought. It was 4-3 after 3 innings. Firecrackers were up by 1, then they exploded for 5 runs in the 4th and 4 more in the 5th to run rule Impact Gold last year. And it was Nicole Dewitt hitting a walk-off run rule home run, a 3-run shot that ended it. So Dewitt hitting leadoff. Looks like more of the speed, maybe slap, maybe small model, but she's got some pop, as do pretty much all the hitters in this Firecrackers lineup.
Firecrackers just, Tony Rico really coaches these kids to be highly schooled, respect the game. They do everything. And when I say everything, we're talking the little things that help propel this team to be great. They've got really good speed, fundamentally sound. They're strong in the circle, and it's those bats.
3-0 count now with runners at second and third. Chelsea Gonzalez at the bat, and Tara Blanco is on deck. So no rest for the weary here from the pitching circle. And with Peyton Mcbride throwing it, we'll send it down and check in with Amanda Scarborough.
Well, one thing about the Firecracker offense that makes it so great is their calmness at the plate. You'll notice that each of their hitters will approach the box in their own unique way, but take a breath, look at their bat, and then get in, ready to hit.
And there is a hit, solidly sent through the middle. Runner gonna try it, and now she'll shut it down. Good throw from center field, very strong to the plate, and that will leave the runner standing back at third base. Heaven Benavides got it in quickly.
Just sits back on that changeup. It looks like just a little bit high on the changeup, but great job by keeping your weight back and getting extension through that just to put it up the middle.
The first run of this National Power Showdown is on the board, and it's tallied for the Firecrackers. These two teams met just a few weeks ago in California at a tournament there, and it was Impact Gold picking up a win. I think I was told 3-0 was the final score, but I might have that wrong. Maybe Amanda can track that down, but I know when I talked with Impact Gold down in Houston a week ago, I believe they told me they pulled out the shutout. Well, that's gone now with one run up and nobody out yet in this bottom of the first. Chelsea Gonzalez took second base, stole it to put runners at second and third. Tara Blanco, who is a talented pitcher herself. She's playing first base today. She's batting number 4. The pitch misses, so another advantage count for the Firecrackers. 3 balls, no strikes. Time called, and now a discussion in this circle. The catcher, Riley Spell, for Texas Impact Gold, wants to reset with her young teammate. Talked about Peyton Mcbride being just 15 years of age. She is the pitcher there with the face mask on in the circle. And her catcher today, Riley Spell, well, she's 15 years old also. 2015 grad, so a grade ahead, but they're both 15. What a stage to play on here. In an 18 and under showdown. This is 18-year-old ball. These are a couple of very talented players in this battery.
Yeah, and that's what you want. It's kind of sink or swim. You get out there with better and very talented athletes, and it makes you rise up to that occasion. And you know, when you talk to a lot of college coaches, they want those kids that are experienced, that are used to playing against competition as good as they are or better.
Strike in for a 3-1 count. This ball fouled back. Good solid swing by Tara Blanco, just missed it. Blanco told us that she's when she's not playing softball, one of her hobbies is drawing. Enjoys a little artistic time. Clear the head out. Her dad, Jeff, coaches the Firecrackers Blanco team, 18-year-old squad. Interesting that dad's here coaching a different team. Daughter's here playing for the top team for Firecrackers. This ball lifted to right center, caught, tag up coming. Here comes Vanz. She'll score the second run of the bottom of the first inning. Firecrackers up by 2 on the sacrifice fly, hit by Tara Blanco, and moving up to third base, Chelsea Gonzalez.
And that's not a bad pitch there. It's off the plate. She just gets enough of it to lift it into the right field. Very straight up, fundamental softball right there. Get them on, move them over. Sacrifice fly gets you a run every time. So great job, great piece of hitting by Tara Blanco.
First and second batters in the order. Dewitt and Vanz both come to the plate, and now hit by pitch. Amanda Sanchez will take a free base, and that'll put runners on the corners with 1 away. The defense of the Impact Gold looking to shut down this first inning. Walker, Benavides, and Kettler out in the outfield. It was Kettler who made the catch and the throw toward the plate moments ago. Benavides also made a great throw from center just moments ago. Vidalis, Russell, Decarlis, Kerpek around the infield, and we talked about McBride pitching to Spell. The defense aligned here in the first inning for Impact Gold. That's a lot going on. That's semi-black.
Yeah, that is semi-black.
I like it. I'm in support. And no motion there from the runner. Firecrackers ran previously on a first and third.
Trying to establish that curveball. It's a great pitch for lefty hitters, don't you think, Michelle?
Yeah, definitely. When you ride the ball away from that lefty-lefty matchup, it can be tough on the hitter.
There's a jam pitch, a squibber, and the throw gets loose, so the run will score. And runner moving up from first to third is Amanda Sanchez. She had to freeze on the sort of bloop liner in the infield, and then Sanchez ends up getting all the way around to third as Carly Wester reaches safely on the doinker.
She goes, looks like a backdoor curve, kind of comes back in.
Yeah, and defensively, that's just a tough play. I think actually the first baseman, Kerpek, is going to have the best opportunity to go after that ball, but she retreats back to the bag. So very tough play.
Really tough play by the second baseman. I think she did a good job attacking that ball. Maybe want to think about going underhand with a toss there.
Sarah Decarlis
so
trying to deal with that. Great ball fields here in Westminster. The ground not super soft, so when that hit, it had a lot of bite to it.
Yeah.
And tough to corral it. I'm scoring that, and on the replay, it looks like it's the right scoring of it. Single on the play for Wester. She was going to beat that anyway. Here's a ball blasted deep. Genevieve Perez does it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Genevieve Perez with the long ball, and the Firecrackers have exploded in the first inning.
Genevieve Perez is going to get a pitch that she can handle. You can see the movement of this pitch. It just lays a little flat on the outside corner, right in the wheelhouse. Look at her head down. So Perez, just great ability to keep her weight back, quick to contact, and that ball just jumps off the bat and leaves the bark in a hurry.
Perez with the big blast. Single, single, single to start this thing off. A sac fly, had a hit by pitch. Carly Wester's single, she was going to beat that throw. The error then came on the throwaway, and then it was Perez hitting in the number 7 spot for the Firecrackers, who sends it deep on the 3-run shot, scoring Wester and Sanchez in front of her. Hillary Edior, the catcher we spoke of in the top of the first. She said her hobby is teaching girls to play catcher. Great to see. She's only 16 years old, and she's already into that that ambassador situation, trying to find the young folks and help them out.
Right, that's a great thing too. And you know what's awesome about that is going to make her a better catcher. You know, once you learn to teach her what you do and put it into words, you're able to find more secrets, more things that you can do a little bit better. And we'll see that as she gets older and moves on to the University of Arizona.
Here's a look at Riley Spell behind the plate. Her team has managed 1 out, and that was a productive out. It was a sacrifice fly, so even the bad stuff has been good stuff for the Firecrackers in this first inning. There's a strikeout as McBride gets back at it, goes high on the strike 3 pitch.
Well, it's interesting. McBride known more as off and down in the zone, and she gets the strikeout with the rise ball.
Right.
So this is where, as a pitcher, you have to learn to adjust. What's my opponent doing? Well, they've been hitting most of her pitches low in the zone and off speed, so you got to try something different. She does that with the rise ball and gets the strikeout.
Ball sent foul by Lexi Robles, left fielder for the Firecrackers. 57 miles per hour on that most recent pitch from McBride. She's got 2 down here, and she has faced the entire order now for the Firecrackers. The 9-batter order has made a complete procession to the plate in the first.
Came out ready to go.
This ball put down. Vidalis, good strong throw. Decarlis covers, and the 3rd out recorded, but not before the Firecrackers hang up a half dozen in the bottom of the first. Impact Gold, they've got some work to do after this big swing from Genevieve Perez. Today, and 2 games on tap here tonight on CBS Sports Network. This National Powers Showdown first, followed by the All-American Sparkler and Fireworks tournaments with, what is the number? About 800 teams in Colorado. And from those 800 teams, top talent has been assembled for this All-American game tonight. So we'll all stay with you, and you stay with us. It'll be a fine show here in game number 2, but we've got a good show to watch here right now as the Impact Gold will try to go to work against Michelle Floyd. I want to ask, there's a strike delivery, so I want to ask either or you can both take a whack at this one for me, Michelle and Monica. Early in the game, we mentioned the first inning, some pitches not getting called, some getting called, but it's that whole feeling out process for a pitcher. The umpire's got to figure out what you're doing too, and so as a young pitcher, what do you do early in the game if you are hitting spots or you know what you're doing from an approach standpoint, but you're not getting exactly what you want from that umpire?
I think the biggest thing in that situation is to control the controllables. You know, you have to continually pound the zone and go with what your best pitch is, go with your go-to, and then you want to try and spread the zone. Don't just stick to one pitch because that's your go-to. So use it effectively, but also, you know, you want to make that batter's eyes move up and down or in and out as much as possible.
Erica Russell is leading off this top of the second inning. Erica Russell, the shortstop for Impact Gold. Here's the Michelle Floyd pitch. It's 3-1, and that ball will miss, so base runner on. They had 2 on last inning, did Impact Gold, but double play ball ended that, so Russell starts it off right here with the walk. And Michelle talking about that, establishing a zone, and Monica said you got to kind of stick with what you're doing. You just, do you find it to be generally true with at least an average to above average umpire? If you'll hit the same spot over and over, will they start to lean toward calling it?
Well, I think a lot of it's communicating, having your battery mate, your catcher, talking with them and say, Blue, where's that missing? A little out, little up, little down. And when you learn that zone, or you have your catcher talk and say, you know what, that's the corner we're going to hit today. Can you give that a good look for us? Then you start to learn the umpire zone. The umpire starts to learn your zone, but you can't forget the hitter strike zone. And sometimes you want to attack their weaknesses, but also throw balls at their strength.
Yeah, you know, I really like, Michelle, you made a great point, and it's using your catcher to talk to the umpire. A lot of times we see younger pitchers getting frustrated by the umpire not calling a pitch. They thought it was a strike. Your catcher thought it was a strike, and you're still not getting it. Anytime you're standing in that circle, you know, you have to kind of be the stoic person out there. You got to have your game face on and not let a missed call or a missed strike by the umpire, no matter what you thought, affect your game.
We can see that Hillary Edior likes to throw the ball a little bit. She just snapped down to first again, and with a 6-0 lead, why not now? Go ahead and you got house money here. Go ahead and throw it around a little bit, see if you can pick somebody off. I love Edior's. You both mentioned it before. Her energy, her presence behind the plate. So let's just touch that real quick. There's a strike delivered and a 2-2 count. You've stood at 43 feet and watched your catcher. You've probably watched, and just even watching youth ball, you've probably watched catchers who do that very well. And I'm sure you've seen catchers who don't communicate with umpires very well. Let's take a look at this pitch, and then I want to get your thoughts on technique there. This ball fouled away. So what can you tell a young catcher? How do you go about, without just walking out to the umpire or spinning your head around and looking like you're whining, what techniques do you use?
Well, a lot of times I ask the catchers to talk to the umpire with their back to the umpire and just say, Blue, where can we throw the ball so that you'll see it as a strike? And sometimes it's the way you're catching the ball. Catchers need to catch the ball to the inside part of their body, and they need to catch the ball into the zone. A lot of young catchers will catch the ball out of the zone, so that gives the perception to the umpire that it is a ball. So move the body away from the zone so it perceives to the umpire's eye that you're catching the pitch into the zone.
So you're moving toward the zone as you're receiving? Is that?
You're going to move your body slightly away, but your glove, yes, toward the zone, and then that gives the perception that as the body moves away, the glove moves into the zone, therefore the pitch looks like it's in the zone.
Exactly, and on those movements, you want quiet, smooth movements. You never want a catcher to make big, choppy movements. Those startle everyone, the pitcher, the umpire, probably the catcher herself. So always being smooth on those movements.
58-mile-per-hour pitch from Michelle Floyd strikes out Peyton McBride for the first out on a great spot there. We're talking about spots and delivering the ball, and Floyd just hit a great spot on strike 3 for the first out of this top of the second inning. There's ball 1 now to our new batter, Sarah Decarlis, second baseman for Impact Gold, as my good friend and food provider Linda Hewitt drops by with some tasty morsels. Linda, thank you. Always looking out for the broadcast crew. That's steak and chicken and mashed potato. Everybody get a fork. Gather around. Gather around, everyone.
For Thanksgiving? Wait, it's 4th of July.
Yeah, wrong holiday.
Cookout.
Hey, we're in the top of 2. I'm Thad Anderson with Michelle Smith and Monica Abbott. It's 6-0. Firecrackers just went off for those 6 in the top or the bottom of the first. We're in the top of 2. Impact Gold gets a blast here, and that is long gone. And there it comes for the Impact Gold. Sarah Decarlis matches the 7-hole of the Firecrackers. Impact Gold 7-hole going deep with a 2-run bomb.
Take a look at it here. Great extension, such great focus on that outside pitch. What she's looking for there gets her hands right through that zone, stays behind it. That ball's long gone.
Yeah, that's a curveball that just doesn't move away from the zone enough. And yeah, I love when you take an outside pitch, let it get deep in the zone and keep your weight back and drive it center oppo. It's a pretty thing to watch.
Yeah, so all you Red Raiders, Go ahead and start licking your chops. That's Sarah Decarlis, who's headed your way, but she's a 2015 grad. You have to wait just a little bit. She's still not quite done with her high school years, but Sarah, you know, I mentioned that earlier with Nicole Dewitt for the Firecrackers, the leadoff hitter, not looking like your home run hitter.
Right.
It's not always about the girth or the giganto that's going to hit it out. Same story for Decarlis, not a huge, you know, specimen in the box, definitely an athletic specimen, but that ball was hit about as far as we're going to see one tonight.
Yeah, and the thing that I love too is that Casey Jackson, the manager of the Texas Impact Gold, says what is his favorite softball moment. He says any opposite field home run. That ball was center oppo, so I'm sure he's very happy with that home run blast.
Yep, getting that extension, getting out over the plate, covering it. Good fun. There's a strike delivered. Let's check back in with Amanda Scarborough.
Well, Impact Gold has so much knowledge in their dugout, in their coaching staff. They have Eddie Sessom, a hitting instructor who's coached fast pitch for 15 years. Christy Connor played at LSU. Jazz Jackson also played at LSU. And Rachel Fox, who currently plays at Texas A&M. So if you have a coaching staff that believes that you can come back from 6-0, 8-0, 10-0, it's this coaching staff right here. They have the experience, they have the knowledge to know that anybody can beat anybody, and no lead is big enough ever in this game.
61 miles per hour from Michelle Floyd on that last pitch, and she misses again. Now a 2-2 count, so Floyd fighting her way back here after the damage done, and as Amanda said, believing in that comeback. You know, I talked about last year's game, these two teams right here on CBS Sports Network. It was tight into the fourth, 4-3, and then Firecrackers just ran away over those last couple of innings. Here they ran away early, but we know the talent in this batting order. We talked about the Firecrackers batting order being loaded. We talked earlier about Oklahoma, the Sooners being loaded. I'm not going to say it's the same, but at this level of club ball, these lineups are similar to what you saw at Oklahoma. We just saw both 7 holes go deep for each team.
Absolutely.
You don't see that every, if you go watch games around these, you know, nearly 200 fields that are in action here around the Denver area, a lot of great hitters, but you don't see teams go 7, 8, 9 deep with home run power.
And I think that's kind of a tribute to our sport, the sport of softball. You know, we have advanced so much as a sport in the last 5 to 7 years. You're seeing more power, more home runs, more runs scored. You know, a lot. Any size of a hitter, she can be 6'3", she can be 5'3", and you know she can potentially hit the ball over the fence. So it's a very exciting time in our sport.
That's Riley Spell drawing the walk for Impact Gold with 1 down. They've got traffic again. And that sends Kelly Hansel to the plate. Hansel's first at-bat of this National Powers Showdown. The courtesy runner in for the catcher. Took me a minute. Very impressive hair was covering the number, but I got it figured out. Amanda Organ checked in to run for the catcher Riley Spell. So that's Amanda over at first base, the runner. 0-2 count. Michelle Floyd back in charge of this count with 1 away. A nice pitch on an 0-2. That'll set it up to 1-2. Well, that probably set up a lot of options, that pitch location. What do you do right here?
Well, I think she's been throwing the curveball in the outside corner. She's still heading the count. I'd come in tight underneath the hands, rush her back, and then you have the ability to go back outside.
She goes up with it. So the count stays at 1-2. Ramada is a national sponsor of the 2013 Triple Crown television series on CBS Sports Network and the Triple Crown webcast series on CBSSports.com. For the best available rate guaranteed, book at Ramada.com. Terms and conditions apply. Ramada, you do your thing, leave the rest to us. Ramada.com. Ball bounced in the infield. A chopper successful at second, and no double play. Getting down the line safely will be Hansel, but the courtesy running Amanda Organ is thrown out on the 5-4. I think that's 6-4. That was over to the shortstop slot. Picking it up out there was Chelsea Gonzalez. And she makes the force throw over to Nicole DeWitt. 2 down. Strike again. So those corners opening up for business now as the pitchers establish what they're doing out there. Mary Kranick swings through that delivery. 0-2 count. Mary batting in the number 10 spot. She's the extra hitter in this batting order for Impact Gold. They're sending 10 to the plate in their order. Mary Kranick, another one who batting number 10. Don't take her lightly. She can hit. Mary is another young player. She's a 2015 grad, just 16 years old. So if she's 2015 again, she's just heading into her junior year, rising junior now. She's committed to Alabama, so she must be all right.
Yeah. Patrick Murphy knows his athletes, great coaching staff. We talk about a lot of the collegiate programs, and they all are very deep head coaches with very good assistants. They spend a lot of time at these tournaments.
And Mary actually said her favorite sports moment, hitting a home run when the Alabama coach was there. So she also was opportunistic.
That's right.
I'm sure Coach Murphy liked that too.
Yep. Just always good to validate what you're doing. So yeah, see, I'm good. Look at that. Look what she's doing out there on the field.
See, you made a good decision to me.
Mary says she's nicknamed Baby Butter, and she says she'd like to be a teacher when she gets into her professional life. And it's one of the really interesting and, actually one of the more enjoyable things I find in talking to these young players, the variety of things that they want to do with their lives, knowing that maybe professional, they're not going to make their money maybe in this game, but they want to play as long as they can, but they also have aspirations in so many cases to do things that make a difference. We saw earlier Peyton Mcbride wants to start a foundation for Special Olympics athletes, and you just see so many of those kinds of things, and I believe teaching is an extremely noble profession. So Mary, you go, girl. You go, Baby Butter. She's facing a 2-2 count. Deuce is on the board here in the second inning. 2 away, and Mary fights one off. Running try will not succeed. Runner's going to try for third, and we'll have it. So the effort in from left field by Lexi Robles. Great effort, base hit, got glove on it, but a tough play, and that's going to put runners on second and third as the ball got loose.
You see the location of this pitch, the way the ball's dropping down off speed, but look at the way that Robles comes in. Nice effort trying to get leather underneath that ball off just a little bit, but that's a long way to come from left field for Lexi.
So on a 2-strike pitch, fighting it off is Mary Kranick, and that will roll over the batting order back to Kyla Walker. Struck out looking her first time up. So with 2 down, it is Walker, and let's check back in with Amanda.
Well, you saw that the left fielder, Lexi Robles, almost caught that ball. And on the pitch before, head coach Tony Rico for the Firecrackers called out a defensive play triangle in which the left fielder shifted forward into more so the hole, and the center fielder shifted more towards left field to put her into a better position to try to make that play. And she just came up short of it, but you guys saw the effort that she gave, and she almost made that play.
Yeah, that ball landed where the dirt met the grass, so not deep at all, and a good defensive adjustment, just about less than half a foot from being a perfect adjustment. Great effort by Robles. There you see Lexi out in left field, patrolling the ground. Good crowd on hand, as has become typical for these televised games at Sparkler and Fireworks. And the crowd will only grow tonight as we continue with the All-American game tonight. Here's one more look at the effort by Robles.
Lexi coming in a long way, keeping her eye on the ball. Just a great effort.
Lexi plays second base also, and plays it quite well. Nicole Dewitt is there in this game. Here's a pitch that'll paint the black, and that will end this top of the second, but a couple of runs put up. It's Firecrackers 6, Texas Impact Gold, as they get the 2-run shot from Sarah Decarlis. into the bottom of the second inning, and the Firecrackers 6 runs in their first shot with the sticks. They're looking to add on right now, but a couple on the board from Impact Gold, trying to turn this back into a ball game. We'll see a pivotal bottom of the second. You don't say that often, but Impact Gold would love to reverse the tide of that offense from the bottom of the first and establish themselves firmly in this game. We know, we talked about it, both teams are loaded with talent. They've competed at the highest level, so they don't back down. But going from 0-0 to 0-6 to 2-6 to 2-11 doesn't feel very good.
Right.
2-6 after this inning would look like a deficit against a great pitcher, Michelle Floyd, a talented team in the Firecrackers. But that whole momentum, that whole trending situation, big inning, I think, here right in the bottom of 2.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I always like to talk about it in terms of boxing, is that when someone punches you, you got to punch back.
And starting off in fine style, just like she did in the bottom of the first, Nicole Dewitt singles her second single in 2 innings. They rolled over the order last time, did the Firecrackers, and they started off again at the top of the order with a single here.
It's going to be important this inning for Peyton Mcbride to just make some adjustments and keep pounding the zone a little bit. She really needs to put her Impact Gold team back into the dugout and really settle down the Firecracker offense. So we'll see how they do.
Taylor Vanz singled her first time. Here's a great effort by Riley Spell, and she got it. Spell on the forward dive on the popped-up bunt, and Vanz is out.
What a great play, great heads-up play, diving for that right off the bat. Great reaction time there.
Oh, great effort, quick, cat-like from behind the plate. Spell and that bunt, Vanz. Need to get a little bit more top hand to make sure you get it down.
Yeah, especially when, you know, a lot of slappers, they're going to do a lot of different things with the bat.
Chelsea Gonzalez singled her first time up, and she'll do it again as DeWitt hustles in to beat the forced throw from right field by Mary Kranick. So 2 singles now in this game for Chelsea Gonzalez. And again, the Firecrackers in business. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Tara Blanco, a sacrifice fly, her first at-bat to right field is where she hit it. The RBI on that swing, and now Tara batting the number 4 spot. We'll have another chance with teammates out there. There's time called by Riley Spell. We're going to talk more in this game with Amanda about Riley and some interesting storyline from Riley and her pedigree, I guess you'd call it. But you can tell, we talked again, she's a younger player. I think she was a 2015 grad. But Riley, she doesn't act like that at all. Her presence, her taking command on the diamond. We don't need coach to come and visit. I can handle it right here. You don't burn a visit out of the dugout. You just take him as a catcher. She's been impressive in these first couple of innings. And we'll see more of her tonight. She's part of that All-American roster for tonight, so she'll be on TV twice tonight, will Riley. Ball fouled away by Blanco. That was Spell you were looking at in the catcher's mask, and there's Blanco in the batter's helmet. I like that helmet, by the way. She's got that thing all, I guess they all have that. They've got that lightning look on it, the paint job. 0-1 pitch. Blanco goes, and that 0-2 count now on the board.
Little check swing there.
Had to dig through my steak and chicken to find my notes. That was a perfect time there. I was going to drop in our umpires. I'll get to them in just a second after that strike call. 0-2 with 1 out. This pitch is up. 1-2 count. Behind the plate today is Martin Teletsky. Martin, 10 years of umpiring experience, and while he didn't put it on here, I think that's an Omaha area code on his number he threw down here. So Martin behind the plate. Dan Beeson, the first base umpire, 20 years of experience. Blanco sends that foul, and our third base umpire, Joe White, out of Texas. So our thanks to our 3 umpire crew of third base Joe White, home plate Martin Teletsky, and first base Dan Beeson, getting the honor of working this National Power Showdown. And you don't get umpire this game by a fluke either. You got to be pretty solid and appreciate the hard work and the good work they do on the diamond. 1-2 pitch. With Spell, she's working. She tried to frame that.
She's doing everything she can. Trying to do everything she can.
That's like, yeah, that'd be if you took a family photo where mom's eyes were closed and the dog had just, barked and jumped into somebody's face, and you still want to frame that thing.
It still goes out as the Christmas card.
So as a pitcher, Peyton Mcbride has to appreciate that.
Yep.
Now the upside, Blanco again fouled right under the heels of Tony Rico. On that point, we're laughing about it a little bit as a young catcher again as we dispense. This is like a clinic here on CBS Sports Network with Michelle and Monica and Amanda tonight. But as a catcher, you don't want to frame. I don't think Riley misframed that, but you don't want to frame everything.
No, absolutely. If it's well off the plate, if it's 2 balls off the plate, don't frame it, because you know what, you shouldn't get it. you want to get the ones that are close to the plate, that are what we call in the river between the plate and the white line. Anything outside of that, the umpire's gonna be like, oh.
Good pitch delivery on a 2-2 count. That was down and out. Hey, don't throw a no Twitter today. Use hashtag TC Sports. Let us know who you're rooting for in today's game, or let us know what you love about the 4th of July. Just get in the game. Let's make this thing trend. Hashtag TC Sports. And I'm going to try to get Monica and Michelle and Amanda to hashtag it up with a little hashtag TC Sports on their tweets. So keep an eye out. Fans are tweeting from the bleachers. We'll get some players tweeting from the dugouts in the next game during our All-American game. Didn't ask that of our players in this game. It's a little more serious on this one. But I'm pretty sure we'll coerce maybe Michelle, Monica, Amanda to fire up the old bird and get some tweets happening out here. All right, we're on a 3-2 count, 1 down, bottom of 2. Couple of runners out there. Tara Blanco long at bat.
Yeah, she is working. She's working hard up there. It's great to see, really working the count, fouling a lot of stuff off.
Again.
Just battling out there.
I'd call that a souvenir, but at these games they actually have to give those back.
Yeah.
But Tara tried to help out some young people. Good mix of fans on hand today, and a lot of young players you see run around these ball fields for these big showdown games of the 18 and under bracket. So many young players in town. Honestly, they don't know when they play, not sure where their glove is, but, they show up and do great work. But the whole experience around this and seeing players at this level who are about to go populate the best college teams in America on the field is quite an experience. There's ball 4. What a great at-bat by Tara Blanco.
Working all the way to a walk there. Great work by Tara Blanco. She fouled off about 6 pitches, I think, so just constantly getting all the ones she didn't like out of there until she got herself a walk. Tara
Blanco, not only a great pitcher, a great first baseman, great in the batter's box, she can draw a little bit, a little artistic on the side is Tara Blanco. There's a look at one of Tara's original works. She sent that to us when I saw that she was a drawer. I said, hey, you got anything we could throw on TV? And Tara shared that image with us. And that's pretty legitimate. I'm hoping maybe later she'll come up and maybe do a little drawing of us.
Yeah,
Michelle, you up for that?
I would probably be the cartoon character in the drawing.
I have a really bad camera on my phone. I ruined it in Cancun a couple years ago with some salt water. So I'd kind of like one of those if I could get a drawing, because my camera doesn't really work. So if Tara, during this pitching change, Tara could just come up and do that for us. And the pitching change goes to Kaylee Garner. Garner's going to come in with her team down 6-2, but they just clawed back for 2 in the top of the second. So here she faces a bases loaded 1-out situation. Getting out of here with no runs on the board would be huge. And for Kaylee Garner, she pitched in the televised game last year when Impact Gold and Firecrackers met here at Sparkler Fireworks. And for Kaylee Garner last year, she only faced 4 batters in that game. She got in a jam in the first inning. They made a quick move, and Katie Marks really did a great job of keeping the Firecrackers in check over the next few innings. But for Garner, a chance at retribution right here after a short appearance in this televised game last year. Kaylee warms up in the circle, and Amanda Scarborough, I know you've got some knowledge of Kaylee Garner, so I'd like to check in with Amanda right now. She's hanging out in the Firecrackers dugout right now, but we're going to actually go and check in on her regarding Kaylee Garner.
Yeah, talk a little bit about Kaylee Garner. What makes her such a great pitcher is her ability to really spin the ball. She's not going to overpower you with her speed, but she was taught at a young age how to spin all of her pitches. So be sure to look for her curve, her screw, her rise. All of her pitches spin so tight, and she gets great movement.
She misses on pitch 1.
In a tough situation for Kaylee Garner to come in right now as a relief pitcher. Her team obviously needs her to come in and get some ground ball outs here. Bases loaded for her, so it's going to be important for her to go out, throw strikes early in this at bat.
foul ball from Amanda Sanchez. Hey, here's a little more on the current pitcher, Kaylee Garner.
The key for her is to make sure you look out for her off speed. She has an off speed curve that's really deadly. It's hard to pick up. She spins it really well, moves down and out, and it's tough to hit.
That's Rachel Fox, who is the pitching coach for Texas Impact Golden. Rachel currently plays at Texas A&M. This ball gets loose. Runner thought about it. Now we'll get back safely. Dewitt came flying down the line. The ball kicked hard off of the backstop padding. Riley Spell there to corral it, so they dodged the wild pitch bullet.
And I love the way that Riley Spell, look at how quickly she's going to be back now. It's a short backstop, so a great job by Spell to get the ball immediately. Garner comes in, but the thing I love the most about that play is Spell did not throw behind the third base runner to try and get the second base runner. Good job. Very tempting to do that for young catchers sometimes, and she kind of held off. I think a throw down to second that could have opened up a can of worms if it wouldn't have been executed correctly.
Yeah, you don't make the unnecessary throw. At this point, you want to try and get that ground ball going 4-1 here.
Amanda Sanchez hit by pitch, her first at bat. Here she sees a 3-1 count. It's going to be an RBI walk. Kaylee Garner into a tough spot and gave up the free pass, which results in a run. 7-2, Firecrackers have the lead as Nicole Dewitt scores her second run, and we're here in the second inning. Gotta love those RBIs. If you're a hitter like Amanda Sanchez. Of course, she would have loved 4 right there. She would have gone for the long ball, I'm sure. But any way you can do it.
Anyway.
So that sends Carly Wester to the plate. This ball bounces, but again, Spell, good work to keep the runners where they are and keep the force play in effect. Carly Wester singled her first time up and scored in front of the Genevieve Perez home run. Perez due up next. She hit the 3-run blast in the first inning, and she's going to most likely see another AB here in the second after Wester's at bat. She's got a 1-0 count. Here comes the pitch from Kaylee Garner. I want to ask Monica, we've seen Garner to this point, especially she's had lefties in the box. She's lost some pitches low and out. Is there something, anything you can imagine that's going on with the release?
Yeah, I think, it just looks like her timing's a little bit off. She's hitting her hip a little bit on her pitches, and it's allowing the ball to get away from the Spell back there. And she just needs to speed up her arm a little bit, work her arm speed a little bit so she can get into that throwing slot in front of her hip in that throwing zone and be able to get a good release and good spin on the ball.
Yeah, so for a right-handed pitcher, your left foot is down and your right foot needs to be behind that left foot, and that will clear the hip. It'll allow the arm to come through, and you can see when she throws that right leg is not clearing behind the left, so the hip is in the way. Now that pitch a little bit better, so she controls it. But as Monica said, when the hip is in the way of the arm, or the arm cannot get through slot, you can see right there, the hips early, boom. You can, and guess what? Hip's bigger than arm, so hip is going to win. It's going to bump that arm off.
And one of the reasons she might have had a little bit better success on that one is because she tried to throw it inside a little bit more. A lot of times we hit our hips on outside pitches or on the same side as our throwing hand.
Well, she fights her way back after a 3-0 count. Garner staying in it now, 3-2. A couple of strikes. Base is still full of Firecrackers runners. Gonzalez at third, Blanco at second, Sanchez at first. Carly Wester has a run scored, would like an RBI or 2 right here, and she'll pick up the free RBI. Back-to-back walks now have sent in 2 more, and it's 8-2 Firecrackers with Chelsea Gonzalez crossing the plate.
Now I would expect the Firecrackers offense right here to just be really patient up there and force Garner to throw strikes. She's walked two batters, gotten behind in the count. From Tony Rico's philosophy, play with honor and staying calm and just playing a little bit of smarter softball and really waiting for a pitch and making sure Garner's starting to confine the zone.
It was Peyton Mcbride who started pitching in this game, and the last batter she faced was Tara Blanco, and that was that epic, colossal at-bat that Blanco really extended, and finally she picked up the walk and chased the starting pitcher Mcbride out of the game, and so then Sanchez and Wester have followed that up with RBI walks. So Casey Jackson going to call time, and we're going to try again with the impact goal. They're now down 8-2, so they've given back the 2 that they got in the top of the second. They're back down by 6, and it's Genevieve Perez, who you just saw there on your screen, the 3-run home run, her first at-bat of this game, and she's got the bases loaded now, so chance for large damage. Here's a look at Perez's last at-bat.
Perez just gets a pitch up in the zone that she can handle, keeps the weight back. Quick to contact. You got to love that. You stay inside the ball when you get quick and down to contact with that front side and just drives it out of the park.
And for Genevieve, her dad Nick and mom Lupe, she's got Amelia, 5-year-old sister, and mentioned other standout athletes in her family. Got Micah Palamalu, plays football, linebacker, Navy, and then she's got another guy, Troy.
Oh, who's
Troy Palamalu. Yeah, that's Uncle Troy, Pittsburgh Steelers strong safety. He of the fantastic Head and Shoulders commercials with the great hair. And so Uncle Troy, you can take second fiddle today as Genevieve has already starred in this game today. Perez back in the box now. She is the owner of a 3-run blast in the first, and now a chance to do big damage with the bases loaded.
I'm sure she's wanting to make her uncle very proud right now.
She's got hair just like her uncle. He has hair like her.
That's right, yeah. He modeled after her. There's another, this time it's for the impact goal. We've seen Firecrackers snap the ball around the diamond a little bit after pitches, trying to pick some runners off, and here impact goal just trying to scratch it out some way, throwing behind the runner down at third, but Blanco is back. 2-0 count with 1 out. And now some trouble here as the balls continue to mount in the counts for Kaylee Garner. She's behind 3-0 with nowhere to put Genevieve Perez. Perez hard to third. There's 1 at the plate. And 2 at first. The double play turn is huge. So Perez, who went yard last time, hits into the 5-2-3 double play. It's Vidalis to Spell to Kerpek.
And it's the ones that really have that confidence.
And are you going to have that confidence when you're judging TC Idol later on today?
Well, TC Idol's a great event that they do here, and I have no judgment on singing and all of that, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Crystal Bustos is joining me, and that's what I love about this event. It's something that you really bring together a lot of athletes. They can have fun, play the game, but also get to know each other a little bit too.
And how would you even describe this event to other people if they were talking about Colorado tournament from an outside perspective, somebody who doesn't know softball?
This is the tournament. I mean, I really think about, the biggest tournaments of the year in Colorado is that tournament, the Sparkler, Triple Crown, what they do. I mean, it's really something that's so unique, and the fact that there's just so many people here. It's a lot of fun. It's a beautiful environment, and the college coaches too. I mean, that doesn't help when you're thinking about recruiting and stuff like that.
And what are your big plans for the rest of the summer softball-wise?
Well, here in a month, I will be having a baby, so this is my last road trip. But having a baby next month, and honestly enjoying the first summer in 30 years. I've never had a summer. You think about softball, it's the summertime. So the fact that I'm actually like barbecuing and going to the beach and having a normal life, it's kind of cool.
A life outside of softball. Jessica Mendoza, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thanks to Jessica for joining us. Good luck with the stretch run of the pregnancy. It's the heat of summer, and she gets to finish manufacturing human life right in the hottest time of the year. So our best wishes and congratulations on the pending arrival.
Yep.
And thanks to Jessica for taking some time to join us on this Sparkler Fireworks National Power Showdown contest. And as Amanda mentioned, the TC Idol, the singing competition where players from all across this gigantic tournament come out and show off their singing abilities. So you got Jessica Mendoza, you got Crystal Bustos judging.
Wow. Which one of those would you be? Simon?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Paula. I'm going to say Jess is Paula.
Yeah.
You usually have 3 judges, so if you're going to put one more judge in there with those 2, because you need to make it just as crazy of a mix as you can, who would you throw in there? Should we send one of you over there?
You want Monica to go over there?
Okay, good. Michelle, way to jump right on the nominations right there. No hesitation.
Okay. Judge the pipes of all the softball players. We're not talking the arms or the bats either. We're talking the vocal pipes.
Intonations. Well, there's 1 out on the board on the strikeout to lead things off. Madison Kettler struck out after walking her first at bat. This time she'll succumb to Michelle Floyd for out number 1, and now it's Tori Vidalis, who hit a home run in this matchup last year in the televised game. Vidalis, big swing right there, fouls it back. Good look at Tori Vidalis, who we understand is going to join us for the All-American game next here on CBS Sports Network. Mackenzie Kerpek was supposed to be in the game. She's been having some back struggles with her back, meaning that part of her body.
Okay.
Back struggles didn't quite come out right. But I talked to Mackenzie before the game. She's just trying to make sure she doesn't do anything more to it than is currently going on. So Mackenzie's going to lay out of that All-American game, but congratulations to her on the selection. And Mackenzie just graduated high school. Congrats. And she'll head to Texas to play her college softball. So she's due up next is Kerpek, but right now it's Vidalis who will take her spot in the All-American game. Vidalis lifts this to right, and it's Perez on the catch out in right field. So the fly out for Vidalis, who will play at A&M after her senior year in 2014. And here's a look back at what she did last year. There's that swing against Tara Blanco. It was Vidalis early in the game. Impact Gold off to a good start with Kerpek hitting a 2-run shot. And there you see a fan attempting to run that one down out in the grassy fan area here at Christopher Fields. Vidalis highlight from last year on a flashback to the 2012 matchup. Kerpek swings big and misses. Michelle Floyd doing a nice job here, working through the 2-3-4 portion of this order and going right after these big hitters.
Well, it's important to continue to attack hitters, change up a little bit the way you throw hitters second and third time through the lineup. You cannot be predictable.
Good running play by Chelsea Gonzalez, the shortstop, and she fires across to Tara Blanco for the 3rd out. Nice clean inning. Firecrackers up next, leading by 6.
To really share their love of the game with their students, with their athletes, and you can see that embedding throughout their programs and allowing them to have a lot more success on the field and creating a history within their programs.
And here's one of our favorites of the day, Hillary Edior, the catcher for the Firecrackers. She's facing the pitches of Chelsea Parker. Chelsea just checked into the contest and the 3rd pitcher of the day for Impact Gold, as they've given up 8 through the first 2 innings. Parker, the lefty, going to try to turn it around here. Just graduated high school to Chelsea Parker. She's out of Richmond, Texas. Congratulations on the graduation. She'll go to UTSA, that's UT San Antonio, for Chelsea for her college opportunity. So congrats on that also. And you know what I like a lot about Chelsea, her favorite sports moment, Craig Biggio's 3,000th hit. She was lucky enough to be at the game to see it happen. And I was a huge Biggio fan. Love that guy. One of the, greatest, just genuine ball players, and from everything I could tell, at least from a distance, decent people of the game. And Chelsea scores points with me on that. Here's Edior sending a ball deep to left and gone to left. It's Hillary Edior with a home run, and this time it's from the number 8 hole in the Firecrackers order.
Edior strikes out in her first at-bat on a pitch up in the zone. This is an off-speed that she's just going to stay back on. Look at the way that she really keeps focus, head down, drives this inside pitch well over the fence.
No Impact Gold will meet in the circle to talk it over as one batter up, one batter scored. 9-2 now, Firecrackers on top. Edior getting some high fives in the dugout. New catcher just checked in for Impact Gold in the inning change. That's Miranda Grotenheis. We've seen Miranda before on our television games also. Miranda, a talented catcher. She's a 2014 high school grad. And she is verbal to Alabama, is Miranda. So how about that? You don't start in this televised game. You don't even start your Alabama catcher.
Yeah, impressive.
There's a bouncer, and Chelsea Parker gets a better result here. Lexi Robles dribbles that back to the pitcher, and there's an out. So now with that 1 out on the board and a 9-2 score also on the board, it's back to the top. Nicole Dewitt 2 for 2 today with a couple of singles and 2 runs scored. Well, we saw last year in this matchup a run rule breakout, and we've got a threat of that, but here's a good trend for the Impact Gold defense as they get Nicole Dewitt out for the first time today in her third at-bat. Bounder to second base is handled, and the out recorded.
Nice bounce off the pitcher's glove right into the second baseman's hand. It's got to love that. Kind of help you out a little bit.
Now the number 2 batter in the order, Taylor Vanz. A single and a pop out. She popped out that bunt earlier that Riley Spell made a great diving catch on last at bat in the second inning. Vanz with 1 run in and 2 outs recorded in the bottom of the third. There's a ball into right field that rolls through the dirt and grass, and Taylor Vanz, her second hit of the game.
Vanz is just going to take a pitch low and on the inside corner. Look at her hand. She goes negative before she's going to go positive, but I love the way she contacts the ball behind that front foot. Front foot is down, very balanced. A lot of these kids very schooled, great swings. They truly understand the game.
There's a strike on the outer edge, well pitched. Chelsea Gonzalez is the batter. Here is the 0-1 pitch, and that's up 1-1. Throw down to first base, and ball pops loose, but Vanz won't be able to move up on the loose ball. Hustling back to grab it. Peyton Mcbride, who moved over to first base after her pitching chores. Looks like Sarah Decarlis moved over to shortstop. Vidalis still over at third base. Another throw. This one right on the back of Vanz. Playing second base now in this inning. Some rotation was happening, so Erica Russell moved from short to second. That's the infield. Russell there at second. McBride at first. Decarlis at short. Vidalis at third. It's Parker pitching. Groton Heights behind the plate. Made reference moments ago. Here's the 2-1 pitch with 2 down. That'll run the count to 3-1. Made reference to the run rule situation. The fact that the Firecrackers did run rule last year in this game after a 4-3 tight contest. Blew it up and went to 13-3. Run rule in this game is 8 after 5. 8 runs after 5 innings is the run rule, which is the college rule. Is standard play. This ball bounced. Vidalis, a great job right there. You know, that's a little thing, but that ball was foul, and she probably knew it, but she hadn't heard anything yet.
Yeah.
What the heck? Might as well work the arm a little bit.
Might as well throw it. You know, you never want to leave it in the umpire's hands. Well, that's the last thing you want.
What are you? Tell us. Let's talk about that a little more, Monica.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Let's hear more about that. Why don't you ever leave it in the umpire's hands?
Oh, well, why don't I ever leave it in the umpire's hands?
I mean, they've never called. You never had a poor.
I mean, I've never had a foul ball called fair.
There's a laser and a great catch out at second base. Erica Russell, who just slid over to second base, makes a leaping grab, and that will end the third inning.
She's got some hops.
9-2. The Hillary Edior home run adds on 1, but here's Russell shutting it down.
League one day. Maybe in the Olympics if we get back there in 2020.
Yeah, Michelle, so you head off to Oklahoma State.
Yep.
Monica, you head off to Tennessee. As we work through the next easy now, it's not over. As we work through the next inning or so, it helped me get back to this because I know, especially again for young players around the country who watch a game like this, or for those who go home and watch this in their DVR to see if they can see themselves in the bleachers today when they were here. Just everything about that and the ability as a young woman to go and just find your comfort zone and figure out who you are. I mean, there's a lot more going on in these scenarios than just going and playing softball.
Yeah, definitely. They're going and getting a great education. They're having the ability to travel, learn to prioritize and do a couple of things at a high level all at once, which is, time management is a big thing in those years, 18 to 22. But I met a grandfather this morning in the lobby of the hotel where I'm staying, and he was telling me about his granddaughter saying that, he couldn't believe that she was offered a scholarship to a small institution in the Orlando, Florida area. Basically, the scholarship was going to be worth about $250,000, and he was just amazed that the fact that she is an elite softball player has garnered her that opportunity, and that's really what it's all about. It's not always that big D1 program. If you love the sport and you're passionate about it, you know, there are a lot of great opportunities at many different levels for athletes.
You know, great, perfect. We must be wavelength up here, because and Monica, you just mentioned that about, you know, we talk obviously that it's eye-popping, you know, we got the SECs, the Big 12s, and the great schools that are kind of the ones that you really notice, but so many opportunities out there, and really a player needs to find their fit and figure out what's going to be productive for them. And I want to throw out a little congratulations to our own Jex Varner, who worked for Triple Crown for a number of years and just got the head coaching job at Lafayette College, part of the Patriot League. You know, Jex doing the work at Lafayette, the Patriot, you get that all the way up to your Alabamas or your Oklahomas, and there's so many different opportunities. Here we get a ball 4 and a walk, runner on base. That's Erica Russell. Hey, real quick, we're going to jump down and we want to say hi again to Amanda Scarborough and see what she's up to.
Well, I'm actually here with Brent Spell, Riley Spell, the catcher who started the game for Impact Gold back behind the dish. And quite an interesting story going on with this family. And Brent, tell me about this whole catching thing with Riley.
Well, the catching thing started back with my grandfather, Leroy Spell. He caught actually in the service for the Army, men's fast pitch, and then he moved on and played in the Evangeline leagues and stuff in Louisiana, and passed it to my dad, and then of course to me, and I played a little ball, and we passed that along to Riley, and got her behind the dish, and she settled in and has always loved it, and that's been her spot.
Did Riley really have any other choice other than to be a catcher?
Well, yeah, we gave her a choice, but you know, she settled in real good at an early age back there, and it just seemed like that was the place for her, you know.
And what is it that makes Riley so special back behind the plate?
I think she's got the grit, you know. She's got that want to and try, and she leaves it all on the field. So I guess that's all we can ask of her.
All right, here with Brent Spell, Riley Spell, 4th-generation catcher for Impact Gold.
4th-generation catcher, that's pretty cool, and she made a heck of a play in that second inning on the Taylor Vanz bunt attempt with the forward dive out of the catcher's crouch to record a... Well, every out's been important here because the Firecrackers have been potent offensively. Here's a look at that play by Riley Spell. Her dad Brent just chatting with us. Vanz popped up the bunt, and Spell right on the task. Riley, of course, gave way to Miranda Grotenheis last inning as the catcher for Impact Gold. Michelle Floyd continues as the pitcher here for Firecrackers with 1 out. Decarlis batting and throw behind Erica Russell. Now Russell, who just dove back into first, she also made a heck of a play. Just 2 outs ago, I guess. She made the last out of the bottom of the 3rd inning. So Russell drew the walk. It was Peyton Mcbride who flew out in foul ground to left field. And that moves us forward to Sarah Decarlis, the owner of a 2-run home run in this game. So the only 2 runs on the board, courtesy of this bat that you're seeing at the plate right now. And the 1-2 count with 1 down. Dewitt still at second, Blanco still at first. Gonzalez short, Vanz at third. Pitches up, Edior continues behind the plate. Hillary Edior, I know we've talked about her. You can see her there wearing the gear. And the other thing about her, when I met with her, talked with her, just watching her here, athletic. It just, she probably could just do things. She probably does a lot of coach things, and she probably does a lot of uncoached things.
Yeah, just natural. Just kind of find that with the athletes. You know, the human body, a lot of sports, doesn't matter what it is, baseball, softball, basketball, there's patterns that you move in, and those natural athletes just have the ability to move through those patterns or body movements very naturally and without effort.
And Edior, you know, she's pretty tall back there, but look how low she gets and how small she's able to make her body behind the plate. You know, that's something you really look for in catchers.
This ball floated to left and a nice running catch, and now it tried to throw behind, blocked by Blanco. But a good play out in left field for another out recorded. That out in left field on a nice running effort. Good ball track on that floater. Allie Wester made the play. Nice play by Allie. That's Amanda, what are you doing?
Well, I talked to Michelle Floyd after the 2nd inning, so she had pitched 2 complete innings, and asked her how she was feeling. And she said that she wanted to slow the pace of the game down and be more precise with her pitches, especially when she got ahead of hitters. She said she felt like she was doing a good job of getting ahead of the hitters, but unable to put them away. But guys, you saw her throw in the 3rd inning and doing a good job here in the 4th inning with the quick 2 outs.
Yeah, she's really continuing to pound the zone, Michelle Floyd. And she's still going to the pitches that, you know, she wasn't getting called earlier in the game, that screwball inside, but we saw it in the last at-bat that, you know, she keeps the ball there, stays with the pitches that she knows that she needs to throw to be successful.
First at-bat here for Miranda Grotenhuis of Humble, Texas. Here's Miranda preparing. Take a look at this 1-1 pitch. Digital design, a hobby of hers. And we mentioned earlier, Alabama is the future home of Miranda Grotenhuis. Off the end of the bat, but into the gap, and it's going to drop, and it's going to go. That is, well, hold on now. Yeah, the umpire actually looked like he signaled out, but that's gone. That meaning out, gone.
Yeah.
Miranda Grotenhuis, end of the bat. That's some strength.
Looked like it landed in a lawn chair out there.
That's probably the reason why she is signed by Patrick Murphy in Alabama. Yep. The fact that she can hit with some power. She takes a curveball in the outside corner, lets it get deep into the zone. Again, it's one of those opposite field home runs. Casey Jackson, head coach of this program, says his favorite sports moment is any opposite field home run. He just gets another favorite sports moment. Nice shot, opposite field.
Miranda Grotenhuis with the big blast, and her motto every day is an audition. So today she passes the test. Where do you go? She just re-auditioned. Where do you go above Alabama? She just,
I think TC Idol, isn't it?
I guess she could sing next.
She'll be over at TC Idol next.
And she mentioned that her preferred singer is none other than Marshall Mathers, who most know as Eminem.
Yeah.
So while we're on the topic of Miranda singing, maybe we shouldn't send her over to Idol. To
maybe she'll be rapping.
Don't want any covers tonight. It's a family show at the TC Idol. So the future chiropractor Miranda Grotenhuis sends one deep. 9-4 now the score, and we talked about that 8 after 5 run rule. If you're Impact Gold, you know, if nothing else, you don't want to lose this game on TV, but you don't want a run rule on TV.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
so they'll see what they can do to battle their way back into a tight contest. We've seen they obviously have power in the bats, and here's a great swing right back up the middle with 2 down. Another runner aboard for the Impact Gold. Kelly Hansel with her first hit of the day, fielder's choice earlier.
Again, look at the way that she stays back. Look at contact behind that front foot, and that's really the key, is keeping that contact behind that front foot. So many kids get their weight too far forward, try to hit the ball in front of the front foot. Let that ball travel deep into the zone, drive it right back up the middle.
It looks like Carly Wester, by the way, moved over to center field, and her sister Allie took over in left field, making a couple catches earlier. I think we still got, we might have had a change out in right field. Let me check that for you. That's Brianna Tautalafua. Brianna has taken over in right field. Some rotations happening here defensively, and again, we've credited these coaches for a variety of things, and I'll credit them also for making sure to involve as many people as possible in a televised game. You might as well give Ray a chance to feel what this is like and get some experience in this setting.
Yeah, especially, you know, with some of their younger kids, giving them the experience of the big game.
Pretty fun stuff in left and center, too. The sisters Wester will be sharing a campus at Notre Dame when they matriculate. Carly, the older sister, will get ready to load up for South Bend, and a couple of years after that, she'll be followed by sister Allie. They're out there patrolling center and left right now at this National Power Showdown on CBS Sports Network. 1-2 count, 2 down. Just off the edge. Edior held it for a moment and sends it back to Floyd for a deuces pitch. 2-2, 2 outs. Top of 4, 9-4. Firecrackers on top. 2 runs on the board this inning off of the home run ball from Miranda Grotenhuis. I'm Thad Anderson with Michelle Smith, Monica Abbott, and Amanda Scarborough. Glad you're with us here on this Independence Day Eve. Working the count back now. Mary Kranick has it to full. Mary booked it as a double her last at-bat, dropped that ball in front of the left fielder, Robles, who made a lunging effort, and the ball got loose for 2 bags for Kranick. Here's the payoff pitch. Drops it to third base. Vanz, strong throw across. And the out recorded. So 2 more up for Impact Gold. They're down by 5. Firecrackers coming up next. You know, wherever you're going. In this case, Bella heading to Utah, and she's excited about Salt Lake City. A lot of great opportunities being unfurled here for the Firecrackers players. Tara Blanco is going to kick things off for us in the bottom of the 4th inning with her team up by 5. Blanco, a sac fly and a walk. So no official at-bats yet. She'd like to make it very official here. Blanco, one of just about all of the Firecrackers players capable of sending a ball deep, and maybe among the most capable. She could, we got 307 to center, 302 on the permanent fence out here on this field, and then the shorter home run fence, of course. And this Colorado air,
yeah.
Never know.
You never know.
We've seen a few get to that out to the warning track out there over the last couple of years with our games here. And Tara's one of those hitters who has that kind of pop.
That mountain air.
You hate pitching here?
It's difficult. You have to really make your ball move.
There's a ball hit to left, and that will just bounce foul. The red, white, and blue foul line, and foul ball is the call. A little discussion from the crowd.
Lucky call there.
We'll see what we got.
I think the third base umpire actually called it fair, and the home plate umpire called it foul. But you have to remember, those are in the outfield, red, white, and blue. I think it's only the white in the middle that counts.
That's what I was just going to say. I think the white is the fair, and the red on that side, the red is foul. The blue would be fair.
Right.
The other side, it's reversed. The red is on the fair side. The blue's on the foul. So yeah, you're right, Michelle. Good point. The white line. So for those of you looking at that at home and now DVRing it back and forth and slow-moing it out, if it's red over there, re-rack it. Let's pitch again. Tara Blanco still at the plate with this 2-2 count, and I believe we've got a little extra insight on Tara with Amanda.
Yeah, I'm here standing with Jeff Blanco, Tara Blanco's dad, and he actually is a part of the Firecrackers organization in a different way other than coaching his daughter. And what exactly is your involvement?
I coach a 16 and under team and an 18 gold team with the Firecracker organization.
And what is it about the Firecracker organization that draws you in and makes you and Tara want to be a part of it?
I just love the philosophy of the organization, and you know, the teachings of Tony Rico have been great with me and my family, my daughter. He's been a great mentor for me, and I just like to extend those teachings to my kids.
And what do you think exactly about those teachings that Tara has benefited most from?
She has a lot of poise under pressure. She's played in a lot of big games, which is preparing her for the next level, and we just feel very blessed that she can play on a team like this.
And is it tough to coach a different team and not coach your daughter's team?
It is. It is. It's a very rare occasion that I get to see her play, and so we rushed over here from our 16 and under game, and we got here in the second inning, so I'm excited to be here and be a part of it.
And rushed over here just in time to see Tara get a hit.
Yes.
Nice at bat, Tara.
Her first official AB of the day after a sac fly RBI and a walk. It's Tara Blanco with the support from Dad on the broadcast. She comes through with the single on another deep count, no less. Tara's showed a couple of deep count visits to the plate, and there's a hit by pitch. Amanda Sanchez for the second time. Ball magnet Amanda Sanchez is hit by pitch, so she's on again. And actually Sanchez now 2 hit by pitches and a walk.
Oh wow!
Out of the 5-hole. That's a lead off for number 2 stuff.
Exactly.
Take it any part of the order you can get it. Hey, so we talked about Tara and her dad Jeff, who just visited with Amanda, Jeff and Eva, the parents, and you know, Tara told us that her favorite fast pitch player, Lauren Chamberlain, and of course Lauren part of this organization and headed off a couple of years ago to Oklahoma. You know, when you have models like that, immediate models who you play with, you see how they approach the game, and then you see them go succeed at that next level. That's again just the learning, or the opening up of the mind that does to a young player has to be tremendous.
Yeah, definitely. And when you talk to Lauren Chamberlain, she says that she went to Oklahoma because of Jessica Schultz, who was also in this Firecracker program, and followed her to Oklahoma. And you see that these kids over the years, the history and the tradition of these JO programs developed just like you would see a good college program.
So Tara out there at second base after her single, and then a move up on the hit by pitch. Tara committed to Michigan is her college selection. And Carly Wester, the left-handed batter, is in the box. There's Carly. Carly and her sister Allie, when I was out in California last week to visit the team and shoot some video and talk to the players, they were already in a car with their folks heading out to Colorado doing a little road trip tied into this thing.
Nice.
And Carly and Allie very helpfully filled out their information from the road and shot that out of the Rocky Mountains somewhere deep in the canyons and valleys of the Rocky Mountains. I want to tell the Westers, I want to tell the Westers thank you for fitting that into the family, probably right there in the family truckster. They were probably heading down the road and just busted out some information for us. We see the All-Americans, by the way, taking a jog out in the outfield as they prepare for our next game. Wester sends this deep toward our center field cameras and beyond. Carly Wester, the 3-run home run.
Carly Wester just doing it with the bat. Look at the way that she's going to stay back yet again, drive this ball deep. So this is a ball that is moving away from her. You can see the curve ball. It's kind of up and away, but Wester goes from high to higher. And as you mentioned, Thad, in this thin air out here in Colorado, you wonder when it gets close, is it going in or is it going out or is it staying in? Well, it's definitely going out up here.
Carly, another athletic build, not your home run hitter look. However, she did tell us her favorite food, anything edible. So she is fueling the system, and it just paid off. I've got a big plate
like a softball player.
You guys keep I got a big plate of chicken and steak and potatoes and everything. You guys haven't touched this. We should have Carly. Let's have Carly come up right now.
Well, you saw my salad earlier today. Your first reaction was, wow. Most softball players eat.
Carly, who just Carly, who just hit that home run, snapped her shin in half a couple of years ago, has a titanium rod and screws in her left tibia, and didn't hurt anything there on the swing. And she said that the best thing about her 2013 season, this current season, is getting to play with her sister before she leaves for college. I mentioned before they're both going to head to Notre Dame, Allie and Carly. This ball bounced and off the glove of Vidalis. Safely down at first is Tau Talafua. So Brianna with an infield hit after the big blast by Wester, and the beat goes on for the Firecrackers. But to finish that thought, Carly and Allie enjoying a summer as sisters playing on the same team, and then here in a couple of years they'll move together to Notre Dame. And just again, another great thing about the experience of playing at this level, when players do get a chance to spend a little time with a sister on the field, again, assuming that other things are in shape in the family, in this case they are, lifelong memories, unbelievable stuff. Here's that bouncing ball, and Vidalis got a glove on it, but hard hit, and that will result in the infield single. Now another pitching change coming from Impact Gold. Mentioned the 8 runs after 5 innings, so here we are in the bottom of the 4th. That home run sends it back to a +8 for the Firecrackers. So now we're sitting on a situation where Impact Gold, if they don't score in the top of 5, run rule it would be. And Michelle, we're going to take a look here at new pitcher Erica Wright out of Huntington, Texas. Erica's sister Ashley plays softball at Texas State. And Erica going to get a chance to play at Texas after her graduation in 2014.
Well, I love these forms, as you were mentioning earlier, that the kids fill out, and her favorite pitcher is Keilani Ricketts, even though she's going to Texas. But when you ask her what her favorite college team is, because she's signed to going to Texas, she says, Texas, duh.
Yeah, I did like that, duh. Really, you got to ask? You seriously going to ask that question? I got your answer right here. So again, as we saw last year, the offensive explosiveness of the Firecrackers on display here on CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, doing it with both power and speed.
That's what they say about you, right, Monica?
I hope they say that about me. I don't know about the speed part.
The speed of your pitches, how about that?
The speed of my pitch is definitely not running. I can't run.
I was going there with the pitch speed. Here's a welcome to the ball game, hit by pitch. Off the shoulder, and that was Bella Sequeira, who I mentioned earlier, who survived a rough accident and says now she thinks she has a job to do here on Earth. And it was a level of accident that could have been the end of things for Bella, so she feels blessed and motivated to carry forward now and do some good things. And she got her first at bat right there, and she gets beamed in this showcase television game where your team's up by 8. This ball is popped in the infield. Stumbling back to the bag, Tau Talafua will get there. Had to hustle back as the middle infield closed. Decarlis came across along with Russell.
Looks like she just trips over a shoelace, I think. Maybe a piece of dirt jumped out and got her.
Erica Russell was closing from the second base side, but it was Sarah Decarlis who put the pop-up away. Just the first out of this bottom of the 4th inning.
Sure, we've all had our fair share of the dirt coming up and getting us.
Yeah, bloopers.
So it was Sakara batting for Hillary Edior. We believe we'll see Sakara behind the plate next inning. This pitch comes in tight on Nicole Dewitt. Allie Wester popped up on the middle of the infield to shortstop. Allie, who played left field last inning. Her at-bat there is a pop. And we're back to the top of the order with Nicole Dewitt, who first 2 at-bats, singles and runs scored, and then grounded out her most recent time up. Busy day for this Firecrackers lineup just here in the 4th inning, and this is the 4th at-bat for their leadoff batter, Dewitt.
You put a 12 spot up on the board, it tends to give you a lot of ABs.
Firecrackers, and I should know better, but I'm going to go ahead and expose myself for a lack of total knowledge. It's just a knowledge problem I have, but I'm pretty sure Tony Rico told me, and I meant to go back and double check the records here, but I think it's 5 straight years they've won the fireworks tournament, I think is what Tony told me. And that's not messing around.
No.
That's a loaded tournament, and the Firecrackers displaying why right now. This ball popped and played back behind second base. Nice work getting back to the ball. Erica Russell makes the play. Erica Russell from Bryan, Texas. She's the player, if you noticed in their player introductions, who finished her intro. I think she finished from Bryan, Texas, and then she went with the America.
America.
Threw down a little apostrophe America at the end of her deal. That's her right there making the catch. So now 2 outs, and the score margin still at 8. So the thinnest of run rule margins, but again, Impact Gold on the ropes. They need this out, and then they need a run in the 5th inning to stay alive in this National Powers showdown. Taylor Vanz steps in now for Taylor today. A couple of hits and a pop out. 2 for 3. Run scored. Taylor, another fun personality. Enjoyed meeting with her. She plays some volleyball also in her sporting life. Does a little longboarding, as you must do when you live in California. Required for citizenship. There's a strike. And did want to throw that out. Volleyball. Taylor plays, you see a mix. Some players play other sports, some don't.
Right.
Go ahead. Where do you stand?
I don't, definitely don't. Called play-by-play this year for ESPN. It was a learning experience, to say the least.
So you say don't play 2 sports. You don't do 2 roles in broadcast?
No, actually I do, but I played field hockey and basketball. So.
Monica, what do you think? There's a lot of debate, obviously, about specializing and not specializing.
I think specialization is good, but I love the well-roundedness of more than one sport. You get to work on your athleticism, and it keeps you fresh for softball. I played basketball, obviously, with this height. You got to.
There's no way you were getting away?
There's no way at high school. My coach, Darren Jackson, was going to let me not play basketball.
Yeah, you don't get too many 6'3" high schoolers, so when you have one, you don't let them get away from the basketball gym.
Taylor Vanz, a 2014 high school grad. She'll start her junior year. She's going to lift this one to center. She's verbally committed to Washington. Another fine opportunity for a player on our field, and that ball will fly out for the 3rd out, the 12-4. Now the tally with Firecrackers up by 8. Chance to put it away here in the top of the 5th.
I think it's just being outside, and it's just grown so much too, and it's a challenging, and they both took it and ran. Of course, I played, and I didn't ever force them to continue to play, but it's a lot of work, and they grabbed it and ran and have had huge success.
Well, sounds like you're a great role model for them. Thanks.
Well, Ruth, I once missed a game with some slight allergies. She gave birth and then showed up the next day and coached.
Next day.
Come on.
That's impressive,
I was going to say making us all look bad, just making me look bad. I'm sure you guys did all kinds of cool stuff, but I have nothing like that. Kyla Walker is the batter here at the top of the order for Impact Gold. They're good shot right here to dodge the run rule bullet, but they are in jeopardy right now. No runs this inning would mean no more softball here in this National Power Showdown. So Firecrackers have positioned themselves well to slam the door here in the top of the 5th. 12-4 is the score. Thad Anderson, Monica Abbott, Michelle Smith, and you just saw Amanda Scarborough. She's out there darting around the, well, it's hard to dart, it's pretty packed out there. She's sort of climbing through the masses and will continue to do so tonight for us during our All-American game. Our thanks to Michelle, Monica, and Amanda for spending some time with us here on CBS Sports Network. Michelle, thank you.
Yeah.
Monica, gracias. Oh, wait, that's not Japanese, is it?
No. Arigato gozaimasu.
Yeah.
Hey,
There you go.
yes. Yeah.
Our pitcher on the mound would understand me.
Yeah, she speaks some Japanese.
Get a response out of her from the circle. She might yell back up at you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny you say that. I'm not lightheartedly, but I listened to her grunt, her release. Tell me if it sounds slightly like it's a little Japanese inflection to it. I want you to listen to it. You would know. Kyla Walker is a recipient of a walk right there. A couple strikeouts earlier, and now she'll walk and take first base. So there is that run rule dodging runner on base, Kyla Walker. And it's Madison Kettler now batting. She's got a walk and a strikeout in today's game. Kettler will be followed by Vidalis, and then Kerpek due up, barring any kind of double play activity here. This ball is shot to short. Tough play, picked up and safe at first. Kettler beats it out. Really no chance for Kyla Walker. Had to freeze on the line drive, short hop, and she's forced out at 2.
Great job by Chelsea Gonzalez here. Stays down on this ball really well. Good soft hands, makes a quick throw to second base for an opportunity. Just have a chance for that double play. They don't get it, but they had the chance.
I was just about to say before that ball was hit, as a pitcher, really watching both of these teams, the better of the defense today has been played by the Firecrackers, but watching both these teams at practice, the way they drill on the infield, the way they move the ball around, the speed and the precision, as a pitcher, it has to be a blast to have defenses like this behind you, where you can just throw your stuff and trust that as long as you keep it in the yard, you got a good chance.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the 43-foot game is not as much about the pitcher anymore unless you're Monica Abbott, so.
And even she likes to get ground ball outs and fly ball outs and line drive outs and bunt outs.
And speaking of which, Monica, I wanted to ask this at some point, so it's a perfect time to do it. Just give us an update on what you got going on right now. I know you're still got a pretty heavy load going. Yeah,
I'm still chucking the rock, as I like to say. I play for the Chicago Bandits in the National Pro Fast Pitch League, and then I actually play in Japan for Toyota Motor Corporation. It's my 5th season over in Japan and my 7th season in the Pro League.
Losing count?
Yeah,
I
am trying not to count them anymore.
Michelle Floyd continues in the circle for Firecrackers. That foul ball from Vidalis.
My 5 season has nothing on my partner here, Michelle Smith.
I grew old over there. I played over in Japan 16 years. Sometimes
16.
I can't believe I actually spit that out of my mouth when I say it. How did that happen?
You're still a legend over there. We still talk about you.
Well, just like Tony Rico, who coaches the Firecrackers, when we asked him what he wanted to be when he grows up, he said, "I never want to grow up."
Exactly.
Probably same deal for you. 16 years over there probably went by like a flash. You probably don't even think you're 16 years old yet, do you?
No, I'm not. I'm 15.
How'd I do that? I must have lapsed a year. I must have doubled up.
Well, you know, sometimes I like to say that when you're on a softball field, you're always the same age as, you know, when you started playing. You always turn back into that 18-year-old girl, that 16-year-old player, whether you've been playing in Japan for 20 years or you've been playing in the Pro League for 5.
Tori Vidalis can just flat out swing the bat. This rocket right past the ear of Michelle Floyd, and thanks to the geometry of that one, we didn't have any damage. That was a rocket right at the ear of Floyd.
Looked like her heart jumped a little bit on that.
You got to compose yourself now, and
Mine would have.
I got to get back in there. Now you got to face another big, powerful bat with Mackenzie Kerpek in the batter's box. Swings through that.
Big swing right there. Love the aggressiveness. Coming out first pitch, hitting a good hack.
Oh, 1 count, 1 out. 2 runners on. Changing speeds here on Kerpek, trying to get crafty with the number 4 batter for Impact Gold.
Yeah, I think Michelle Floyd's done a good job of working the curveball on the outside corner, but almost become a little too predictable. I'd like to see her throw underneath the hands a little bit more for a ball, then go back out there for a strike.
Here's the Floyd fly ball to right field. It's shallow and playing it. No tag by the runners. So the second out is gloved out in right field by Brianna Tautalafua. Brianna, 16 years of age, from Carson, California, makes out number 2. And it takes us within 1 out of the run rule. Hey, and check in Amanda. What do you got?
Yeah, I actually had a question for Michelle and Monica. And I, just as a fan of the game, wanted to know what's the biggest difference between playing in Japan and playing here in America, pitching-wise?
I think the speed of the game. It's not quite the power game that we have here in the U.S., but the speed of the game, absolutely. I mean, 1 through 9 can get down the line pretty quick, and sometimes as foreign pitchers, the strike zone is shrunk a little bit, but you find a way to battle around it, and extremely intense.
Yeah, and you know, in Japan, we play a 24-game season, 12 games over 2 halves. And so it's we don't play as many games, so every game is really important. It raises the stakes of each game.
Absolutely.
So you can't really go back and, you know, you can't afford to have a close game or, you know, drop a game to a team that's not as great. And there's Smitty hitting that outside corner. That curveball, the Smitty curveball.
Was that year 27?
I was going to say that was
28. No, 16.
That footage looked so old. It looked like it was back from 50 years ago.
That was. Have you seen the Zapruder film from? That's the Grassy Knoll film from the.
Right, exactly.
It's like that. It's the same camera. And here's Michelle going yard, and. Everybody, and even Tori Vidalis, who is on first base after that great line drive hit, she commented when I talked to her about. She just said, here's what she said. She said, I said, finish the sentence, Michelle Smith. And she said, Michelle Smith's hair is voluptuous. It's actually the comment she gave me. And it was in those the footage there. Marty Tarr, our producer, thanks for the help with some looks back. And Curtis Lorenz, our director, thank you for your efforts today, and our entire crew. Great job getting this National Power Showdown up and running. We've got another game coming tonight on CBS Sports Network, the All-American Contest. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Floyd's pitch, and it's swung through. Ball gets loose. Hustling down but thrown out is Erica Russell on the strikeout, and that is the end of the top of 5 with an 8-run lead. Event, a week-long structure, and we've got Wright in the circle, and we've got Firecrackers up at the bat, and for the Firecrackers, Chelsea Gonzalez is in the box. So play continues. As I said, my understanding was a run rule coming up, but I think we've got a different judgment. We're going 10 after 6. Is the official word. So 10 after 6 is the run rule. So I'll correct that. There's a laser down the left field line. Heads up. So just to get the math dialed in for you. 10 runs after 6 innings. So now if you want to reset the jeopardy, a couple runs on the board here by the Firecrackers, and then another hold would lead to that. We're in the bottom of the 5th right now with an 8-run advantage for Firecrackers. One ball, 1 strike. Well, we got on the board out there, we got 1-1. Sorry, make it 2-1 is the count. This ball is hammered at Vidalis and just too hot to handle. That ball bounced down the line. A couple of bags here. And thinking about 3, that ball got down past into the dead ball zone, past the home run fence. So it'll be a sharp, we're going to go with a double on that. That's almost unfair.
Ground rule double on a laser to third.
Yeah, that pitch, a changeup, and she just stays back and crushes it.
Yeah, just crushes it. You know, she really.
So Chelsea Gonzalez with the big swing right there, and Gonzalez, who has 3 hits and a line out to short or to second base that was a complete rob job. That was another laser that might have been 2 out to the fence, but Russell got up and gloved it to end. I think that was back in the 4th inning, or just or make it the 3rd inning that took place. And for Gonzalez, she has hit it really well today. A couple singles, a double, a couple runs scored, and 1 line out on her ledger. And Tara Blanco back up there. She singled her last time while her dad was being interviewed on the broadcast. See what she does this time with no backing from Dad. That was a small thing, but I happened to be looking at her feet right when that pitch was about to come, and Tara actually reset her feet in the box as the delivery was on the way. She shuffled away from the plate a little bit, that wouldn't be thinking she knew where location was, trying to reset her feet.
Well, sometimes, in fact, you see that. Monica knows a lot in Japan. A lot of the Japanese players do that. They'll move all around, and if you think the pitch is coming inside, the pitcher's been hammering screwballs underneath your hands, and yeah, a lot of times mid-pitch, if you're guessing a little bit, you're thinking, all right, I'm going to move back off the plate on this particular pitch, see if I can't get extended on it.
Yeah, and sometimes they're just expecting. They're thinking the catcher's calling inside, or they're going to scoot forward and looking for that outside pitch, looking for something, hoping it's coming their way so they can put a good bat on it.
Quick meeting at the mound, so Tara Blanco talks to third base coach, head coach Tony Rico for a moment. Tatiana Cortez is catching now for Impact Gold. Tatiana catching Erica Wright, and there they are chatting through the at-bat. Tatiana just graduated high school. Congratulations to her. Said the highlight of her season so far is playing in this event right here. She's having her moment right now, and she's headed to Boston College as Tatiana, the current catcher for Impact Gold.
Yeah, and Tatiana, you know, she might have gone out there to actually just talk to Erica Wright about this batter's feet. You know, this is what she's doing. It's not let her beat us on something that she's adjusting to.
There's a walk for Tara Blanco, who has really displayed great plate discipline. Her second walk today, and she's worked the count well, worked the pitches well, as Blanco, who does some pitching. So she's aware of what's going on out there. Tatiana Cortez, the catcher we were just talking about, she told us we asked cool, unique, or strange thing about you. And I'm not sure if she wanted this to be cool, unique, or strange, but she said, I'm scared of the dark. The catcher right there you're looking at, she said, no dark, that's all. Clouds rolling in right now, and they haven't turned the lights on out here a little bit.
What you doing during night games?
But she also said that her favorite sports moment, hitting a home run in her last high school at-bat. How cool is that?
Now that's that's definitely a special moment right
What a way
there.
to go out. Bouncer back up the middle, and Wright will go to first with it, so 1-3 on the put out.
Number 2, Tori Vidalis.
That swing right there from Firecrackers, Heather Morales, who got an at-bat. She'll be featured as a pitcher in the All-American game coming up next on CBS Sports Network, 30 minutes after the conclusion of our current game, or at 9 o'clock Eastern, 7 Mountain, whichever comes first. And I'm doing my math, and it's not possible it'll be before 7 o'clock. So it'll be 30 minutes after we close this one. If you're tuned in, if you're going to take a break between, just be sure you're back 30 minutes after this one ends and catch that All-American game. It's a showcase. About 60 players from around the country featured in the All-American battle right here on CBS Sports Network. So talking about the Tara Blanco foot shuffle in the box, and good insight by both of you on that. The key to that then as a hitter is you're waiting until the pitcher's committed their motion to where they can't change location. So now you're actually changing the hitting zone of what they thought they were throwing to. So pretty critical timing, and they're waiting long enough to keep the pitcher from making any adjustments, but not so long that you're out of whack for swinging.
Right, and usually the hitters are doing it, you know, mid-pitch when the pitcher is in full extension and she's going into her lunge. At that point, as a pitcher, you want to try and pick up any movements and adjust your pitch and your location to the batter if you see their movement there. So pitchers, you got to look, see your target, look away, come and make sure you come back to your target as you're going into your lunge.
Yeah. Can be difficult to do at times, and
absolutely.
But I think if you practice it, it's like anything. You know, you practice throwing in the rain, you practice throwing with bad balls, you practice those sorts of situations. When they do happen, you're a little more comfortable with it.
Carly Wester just ground out to Tori Vidalis at third base. And Vidalis earlier this inning had a rocket off of her glove that are very high expectation-y. Official score said error. I'm saying give that a base. Yeah, that was a rocket.
That was a laser.
And there she makes a great play. As a lot of these players we're going to see at this level would show you, but none less than any of those people. Tori Vidalis has a cannon over at third base. She gets rid of the ball quickly, did a great job of checking the runner behind her, make sure there was no motion out of Chelsea Gonzalez at third base, and then threw a strike across the diamond over to Peyton Mcbride, who's playing first. Remember Peyton, who is playing first base now, who started pitching in this game. She is a 2016 high school grad, so she just finished her freshman year.
Wow.
And here she is at this 18 and under National Power Showdown. after she comes out of pitching, she plays defensive position, which is pretty impressive that she's that well-rounded at this age. There's a pop-up and a catch by Peyton McBride, and now we do have the official word from our Sparkler and Fireworks Committee that is a run rule at the end of 5 with the +8 for the Firecrackers. It's in the books. So the Firecrackers of California, a victor tonight, as they did last year. They run rule